Last episode we made a lot of progress towards getting this car drivable. This time we'll continue right where we left off. First up, we'll thoroughly bleed the brakes since we installed new wheel cylinders. We make sure to run a lot of fluid through the lines to get out all that nasty old brake fluid. And then it's finally time to figure out the exhaust system. The only things we're reusing from the exhaust that came on the car are the headers, the header flange, and this straight piece of pipe. The problem comes in with fitting this muffler.
That goes out there. That'd be all that's really for. Oh shit.
Without a way to get the exhaust gases back to the original muffler location, we need to figure out where this can all fit.
No, actually no. It's too far. What if I just leave? What if I just leave muffler right there?
Just dump it out of the muffler?
Yeah.
Actually, the gas fumes are gonna kill you first.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm dying in there already.
To start, we cut that pipe and welded it to the collector flange.
Don't take video of my gross welding.
That weld is actually pretty good looking.
The cat is a slip fit, so we slipped it on the pipe and started the car to see if it changed the volume. Not really.
Quiet.
No, well, it's in a closed garage also, but no, I probably won't do too much.
The best we can do for now is to bolt the muffler straight onto the back of the cat. I modified the seat brackets so the seat sits almost a full inch lower than before. It is absolutely as low as it can get using the stock seat rails. So the seat's not bolted in, and since we only have one set of seat rails, there's now no way to bolt in the passenger's seat, but let's go for a first drive anyway.
Do you actually want me to sit in there?
Yes.
Oh.
Let's do this. It's okay, let's kind of move some stuff around. It's nice and comfy for you. Yeah, brake's still running.
Make sure I don't step on all the wires.
Seatbelts, please.
You're free to move around the cabin. That boot's not doing a whole lot. I can see the ground.
Yeah. That's a noise. Throw off already. Oh god. Okay, yeah, not gonna go super fast. Yeah. Turn the wheel guys on. The drive shaft hitting the. Oh no, the muffler hitting the
Yeah,
floor.
it's a muffler.
Oh, third gear. Oh, third gear. Yeah, that's third. These work really good. First real drive.
So it did it. It drives. It's loud and rattly and rusty, and I was sitting on timing gears, but it is so satisfying to have this thing drive. The exhaust is loud, but it's going to have to do for now. Except, the muffler's gonna need some support. In order to properly mount that seat, I have to drill out that broken bolt. I really hope this broken bolt was not a factory one, because it is comically soft. But at least it made the job easy, I guess. But here it is, the seat is finally ready to go in. The brackets and rails bolted right up to it. I only had to cut a little piece of plastic out to make room for the adjuster handle on the seat rails. So even though one of them is a different size, at least now there's 4 proper, hardened seat bolts. To get the seat ready for installation, we clean up as much of the foam and detritus as we possibly can.
Yeah, they're rivets. That one is not welded in, it's just riveted in.
Scary.
And the passenger side can stay that way for now. And there we go. Certainly not perfect, but good enough for now. The seat brackets are painted and everything is bolted together, ready for installation.
Yeah, look, it's just the plastic bending. like bending like here. It's not even where the cuts are.
Well, the brackets are stronger than the plastic seat. That's as good as it's gonna get, I guess.
It's still pretty loud.
Now that it actually has a seat mounted to it, we can try to figure out the basic car things like windows and seat belts.
You gotta pull it from both, yeah.
And with the radiator fans installed, we can get back to messing with the engine. But I want to be clear, even with the muffler on it, this thing is loud. That high idle just makes the Datsun so loud. Sean was in a bit of denial about how loud his car was, so I started up my loud car.
Induction.
Yeah.
Can you tell? You can't even hear it running.
It's pretty loud.
It's not that loud. It's not that loud.
Screaming. Yeah, you can't even tell the Firebird's running.
I think yours might be louder when you're revving.
Maybe.
It seems like the same tone the whole way. Well, the same like decibel level. Really loud.
And then it turned into an impromptu straight 6 versus V8 sound battle.
Here's that one real quick.
We can all agree, old cars are great. Okay, back to the Datsun's engine. We messed with the idle a bit more, but still could not get it below 12 or 1300 RPM. We also installed this cold air intake so that at least it has an air filter now. We started messing with the senders and trying to get the gauges to work. Once we found the wire for the sender, the temperature gauge came to life.
Wait. It's going up.
Unfortunately, the oil pressure sender is no good. And this leaky tire is getting pretty annoying. We spent some time messing with little things and driving the car around the neighborhood trying to figure out what else needs fixing. It actually drives really well.
I'm gonna use my turn signal. Oh wait. Can't tell what RPM that is.
It smells like gas. I don't know if that's the leak or...
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell.
strong gas. It looks like the normal amount.
One small thing that happened was we ordered these fusible links online to replace the things that were happening in the car. We had just hooked up inline fuses for a temporary solution, but this is the real fix.
This is why you don't buy other people's project cars.
It's secure. Can you even see it?
Oh, man.
Since the car only came with the aftermarket tack, Sean ordered a 260Z tack off of eBay. What he didn't know is that the 260Z tachometer uses a different signal. We tried it every which way and could not make it work. We finally gave up and put in the aftermarket one that came with the car. It did work right away, but it was a bit slow to respond.
Really slow.
So we removed a resistor in the car's wiring and it made it much better. Even after that, it still acted kind of weird. So we removed it from the car, I took it all apart, and obviously someone had been in there before because there were screws missing. So all I did was take it apart, reset the needle, put everything back together, and it seems to work just fine. It's pretty useful to actually know the engine speed. While removing the resistor under the dash, I also plugged in a mystery connector. We quickly find out why it had been disconnected.
Did it do that before?
That must be what that plug is.
Hey, I found it.
Nope. Just the most important thing.
Yeah, I got you. I got you, bud.
Now that that's taken care of, we can get back under the car. We find that there's a little bit of play in the differential mount bushings.
Hey, don't show YouTube.
There we go. It's supposed to do that, guys.
Oh my god, look at the actual bushing.
Oh. You have a 17 deep.
Yes.
We also noticed that there's only one inner fender liner on the back of the car. Okay. Here are the new bushings from the kit that came with the car. Removing the support bar, which is called the mustache bar, is tricky. At least the nuts were loose. That made it easier.
That was really loose.
Yeah, I love that. Maybe they're not supposed to be that tight.
I would think those would be pretty tight.
Yeah, they look like they would, wouldn't they?
We couldn't figure out what this bracket was supposed to be for, so we don't need it. We undid the bushing nuts and the differential nuts, but you also have to take off these caps and the supports so that you can pull everything down and out of the way to get the mustache bar off.
There you go.
Sweet.
Ooh, that's cool.
Secret number. It's like preserved from all the oil. Like a scratch off. Come on, 7s.
Surprisingly, the steel inserts were actually still attached on this one.
Not that lucky.
Old purple nurple. Yeah, go for it.
But not for long.
Tool that every mechanic needs.
Yes, please. I'll take 7.
3-foot long vice grips.
So good.
The rubber, however, put up a fight, and we needed to get all of it out. The easiest way is fire.
Melting time. Mike's favorite time.
No.
Here. Burning rubber isn't illegal.
Burning down the neighborhood is probably illegal. Do not.
Do both at once.
Do not.
Do both at once.
Do not. It's like some hellish candelabra.
Not recommended in California.
Once the fire's out, you have to scrape out all the melted rubber. It's pretty miserable. But we get it done and get the new bushings installed. Although, we really had to manhandle everything to get it back onto the differential studs.
That was fun.
I get those bushings back up.
While we're looking at it, let's check that diff oil.
Am I going the right way?
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
It's not going!
The fill plug is a 17mm square, and we don't have any other tools that fit on this thing.
God.
Oh, it's slipping off.
Not really sure what to do there. Buddy.
We'll just have to come back to that later. We reassembled the suspension and checked the play. There is none. It's perfect.
Look at that! It lifts the vehicle!
Weird.
It's easy to tell when the Datsun has been worked on. We found a set of Datsun seat rails on eBay for a good price. Only thing is, they're also left side, so we have 2 sets of left side seat rails. The only difference is the location of the adjustment lever, so it really doesn't matter. Now, once I clean out the car, we can install both seats. What a luxury. We go for a drive with the new parts, and I finally have a seat.
Oh look, what time is it? Oh yeah! It's already 7. Shit. 2, 3.
We take some time to check out the windshield wiper motor and clean up the car a bit more. We still can't get the windshield wipers to work. We'll have to deal with that at a later date.
So why are we replacing springs when the ones on there are totally fine and there's drivability problems?
Stance Nation, bro! Low life, low life, low life, low life.
You are a low life.
Low life, low life.
One of the first things Sean bought for this car were these lowering springs, so he's clearly excited to install them. But also too cheap and lazy to get spring compressors. The springs on there are pretty weak, so we can figure out something to get them off.
So what does HA stand for again?
Hintersack.
And what does VA stand for?
Vordersack.
Good. Good.
We had to use a translator to figure out which springs fit where.
This one's tight. It's weird.
Oh, good.
Okay. It's a little tight.
We figured we'd just wing it with this install and go for it. I wouldn't tell anyone to compress springs like this. Anyone. Any springs.
This is how you lower your car. Pro guide to lowering your car.
You know, like the spring spacers, this is the opposite. Should be off.
Always make sure you're wearing the appropriate safety attire.
Alright. And then what do you do? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This is the part I was concerned about.
Cut a hole in the
No.
all on one side.
Good, yeah. And we just compress it more so it like snakes out. Just curve it over the top.
We basically just undid some bolts and pulled it out past the wheel arch to get the spring off. We had to be real careful with the brake hoses because they were all the way extended.
This is what we call a time bomb.
The new springs are definitely shorter than the old ones.
Good. Good.
Good guess. Don't show. Don't show them.
Safe.
And then we did it 2 more times, the same way, on the front. So great, he finally got his lowering springs. Now I'm going to make him check the diff fluid. We tried welding a nut to it, but it wasn't sticking. We figured either that or the heat would help it. We also welded up a muffler support.
Jesus.
It's pretty tight.
In the end, the heat and a good old-fashioned beating got the fill plug out.
Smells like the fluid.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
The fluid looked good, so we just topped it off.
That's not bad.
Score 1 for the Datsun.
And then we moved on to the mod that Sean was maybe the most excited about. Yep, fender mirrors. Since it was already missing the wing mirrors, might as well go all the way with it, right?
Is it done yet?
Totally done. Ready for autocross.
As far as usefulness, we knew they'd be terrible, but man. But it is an iconic look. One last thing before we take this car on a special journey. That's right.
It's officially a street car now.
Scary, right? But now it's finally ready to face its destiny.
That's rude. You lift the car up more. You're like licking the floor.
What?
You're like licking the floor.
What's wrong with that?
It's a little low.
I love licking the floor.
Why do you like low cars so much? Hey!
Get out of here. Get your camera on the head.
No. Why are you like this? It's definitely gonna fall and then burn down the house. See?
No.
Look, even the worm's unhappy with you. So you're just gonna take that off and hope it falls apart?
Yes.
Okay.
I think.